Yeah. What, if anything, have you done to improve your internal brain environment?
I think one of the greatest things for me was to have some somatic therapy where I started to realize why I felt discomfort about happiness. Because if you feel like happiness is going to be snatched away from you at any moment, then that's going to be very challenging. So I think that started to understand my nervous system response to feeling good, so that I could ground myself and make myself feel safe in those moments. I mean, that's actually one of my favorite bits in the book because that's been so personally life changing for me.
You
Um,
s- you say somatic therapy.
yeah, so that's basically like rather than, I mean, obviously, rather than just talk therapy, it's basically looking at basically how your nervous system is wired in childhood to respond to certain experiences. And so, like, your nervous system obviously is wired up as a baby and as a toddler and as a child. So, you know, your nervous system is wired before you're even able to speak by the experiences around you. So, if, for example, you brought up in quite a chaotic environment where maybe the adults were basically acting in quite unpredictable ways, or life felt very prone to change, then you might feel like, okay, you may not feel safe in a moment of happiness. You might, and you kind of, you internalize this into your nervous system, so that like when you feel happy, even when you're safe as an adult, you feel like your happiness is going to be taken away from you. So yeah, I mean, that's a kind of, it's called, actually called cherophobia, the fear of happiness. So that's another word, anhedonia and cherophobia. What
What?
else have I done?
Wait.
I mean,
What was that word?
cherophobia, chero phobia, cherophobia. And I think that now I understand how dopamine works better. I try to regulate my dopamine uh, system better. So, I mean,
Uh-huh.
having realized that dopamine is not the molecule of reward, it's actually the molecule of anticipation. So I always make sure with my husband that we have something to look forward to every week,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
something in the diary. So it's all those kind of things. It's like understanding what makes you feel good and actually giving yourself the time to do it. I'm a big believer in the concept of spark, which is basically the thing that each person is naturally drawn to and finds easier. And you probably might have seen it in childhood. It might be, caring for animals, listening to people, communicating, art, music, all that kind of thing. And then to also, and that's allows you to fall into a state of flow. So, I understand what my sparks are, and I try to do more of them.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Okay.
it's so many different things. It's like you can put together your personal recipe.
Why should people buy this book? I know that you're hoping that they will.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I believe because this is the first popular psychology book on this missing word in mental health. And this brings more nuance to our mental health conversation, which I think is lacking at the moment.
Uh-huh.
And I think this book will show many people, and this is what I'm hearing from the readers, that there is another way and that they don't have to feel just grey. The world doesn't have to look like it's in muted shades of grey. It can be colourful and vibrant, and you can feel more present in it. And I want more people to flourish. I want people to buy this book because I think they will flourish after it. I think you could buy this book, and sorry, it sounds like a sales bill, but I think you could think about your happiness differently in a couple of days after reading this.